morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hi. Welcome to the big show. I'm Johnny Millwater. Hope everybody's healthy, happy, rich, and pretty. Hello to all the Millwatchers out there. It is Sunday, January 15th. It's 11 a.m. I'm feeling fantastic, and I hope you are too. Welcome to my happy place. Got a great show for you lined up today. But first, a bunch of vocal exercises. I love starting off the show with vocal exercises, and I'm very excited. I've collected 3 more from a friend of mine who's taking acting classes. So brand new vocal exercises. Let's go give it a try. Let's start very simple with the repeatings. Repeat after me. Red leather, yellow leather. 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 Good blood, bad blood. Good blood, bad blood. Good blood, bad blood. Good blood, bad blood. Unique, New York. Unique, New York. Unique, New York. Unique, New York. Toy boat. Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat. 11 benevolent elephants. 11 benevolent elephants. 11 benevolent elephants. 11 benevolent elephants. The black bug bled black blood. 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 Peggy Babcock. Peggy Babcock. Peggy Babcock. Peggy Babcock. I am a thistle sifter. I have 7 sieves of unsifted thistles and 7 sieves of sifted thistles, for I am a thistle sifter. Amidst the mists of fiercest frosts, with barest wrists and stoutest boasts, he thrusts his fists against the post, and still insists he sees the ghost. Oh, what a to-do to die today, at a minute or two to 2, a thing distinctly hard to say, but harder still to do. For they'll beat a tattoo at 20 to 2, a rat-a-tat-tat, a tat-a-tattoo, and the dragon will come when he hears the drum, at a minute or two to 2 today, at a minute or two to 2. Here's a new one. She stood on the balcony, inexplicably mimicking him, hiccuping, and amicably welcoming him in. Every single syllable I speak upon the stage has been specifically, scientifically selected to stimulate the sections of your cerebrum that set and sustain a certain satisfying psychological state. 1 hen, 2 ducks. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 corpulent porpoises. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 corpulent porpoises, 5 limerick oysters. 1 hen, 2 ducks, 3 squawking geese, 4 corpulent porpoises, 5 limerick oysters, 6 pairs of Don Alfonso's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonian warriors in full battle array, 8 brass monkeys from the ancient sacred crypts of Egypt, 9 apathetic, diabetic, sympathetic old men on roller skates with a marked propensity for procrastination and sloth. And then we have one more. This is the really tough one. This is brand new. Give me the gift of a grip-top sock. A drip-drape, ship-shape, tip-top sock. Not your spiv, slick, slapstick, slip-slop stock, but a plastic elastic grip-top sock. None of your fantastic slack swap slop from a slapdash, flash cash, haberdash shop. Not a knick-knack, knit-lock, knock-kneed knickerbocker sock with a mock shot blob modeled trick tick-tocker clock. Not a rucked-up, puckered-up flop-top sock. Not a super sheer seersucker puka sock, smock sock. Not a spot-speckled, frog-freckled, cheap chic sock off a hodgepodge, moss-botched scotch block. Nothing slip-slop, drip-drop, flip-flop, or clip-clop. Tip me a tip-top grip-top sock. Grip-top sock. Ooh, that's a good one. Here's a new one. Bobby Bibbit bought a ball. Bobby Bibbit brought a ball. Oh, sorry. Bobby Bibbit bought a bat. Bobby Bibbit bought a ball. With the bat, Bob banged the ball. Banged the ball against the wall. Pop a purple petal. Copper-plated kettle. Hippopotamus in Mississippi River. Plate of bread and butter. Warm hot dog with mustard. Aren't you getting weary? Now then, let's be cheery. All right. That is fun. All right, folks, so let's get the big show started. See if there's anybody in the chat yet. It's a very simple thing. It's a fairly simple thing. All you got to do is you type your comments into the chat, and I talk to you. We keep each other company, and if there's nobody talking to me, or if I can't think of anything else that I want to say, then I just spin the wheel, and the wheel will tell me how to pass the time. I got articles, I got stories, I got monologues, I got songs, I got Zen koans, I got all kinds of fun stuff for us to play with. So I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. And since there's nobody in the chat, let's spin the wheel. As you can see, that's your basic menu. Anything you want to try, it's all there. Song. All right, let's start by doing a song in the theater. Hey, hold on. Been working on this. Hold on. Oh, wrong one. I wanted to do this one. Nope, that's not it either. Oh, they're cool though. Get out of here. All right, hold on now. Huh. Yeah, well. Oh, there it is. Good thing nobody's watching this. Be embarrassing. Here we go. Oh, Christopher's here. Good morning, Chris. I was just turning on the spotlight to do a quick song. I'll come and check on with you in just a minute. Hope you enjoy it. The song I haven't actually selected a song yet, so it makes it fun. It's kind of random and nuts. Let's start with a Sinatra classic. Perfect. Let's do Strangers in the Night. Strangers in the night, exchanging glances, lovers in the night, what were the chances we'd be sharing love before the night was through? Something in your eyes was so inviting, something in your smile was so exciting, something in my heart told me I must have you. Strangers in the night, two lonely people, we were strangers in the night. Up to the moment when we said our first hello, little did we know, love was just a glance away, a warm embracing dance away, and ever since that night, we've been together, lovers at first sight, in love forever, it turned out so right, for strangers in the night. Ha! There you go, folks, Strangers in the Night. How about that? Oh, wait, I got a button that does applause. That feels cool. All right, then. Well, let's go check in on the chat. Good morning, Christopher. I hope you're doing great. Welcome to the chat, Christopher, if it's your first time here. Oh, my goodness gracious, Leanne's here. Oh, this is exciting. Christopher Neal, that's my buddy Neil from college. Glad to see a friend. And Leanne Ulmer, my favorite streamer. This lady is the coolest. Chris, Neil, my buddy Neil from college. This lady and her husband, they're called Two Country for Nashville. And they do live streams all the time that are almost as exciting and warm and fantastic as their live shows. They tour constantly. They're pure showbiz and some of my favorite people in the world. Where are you right now, Christopher? Are you still down there in Florida? And sorry, just changed the way my hair's parted. And Leanne, Miss Ulmer, how are you? Where are you now? What are you looking forward to next? I'm very excited to find out. I know you're touring all the time. Katie's there, very high. Hi, Katie. Thanks for tuning in for a second. Say hi to the baby for me. This is fun. The baby's probably about 15 now, but you know what I'm saying. Say hi. Oh, this is great. I tell you what, I'm going to let you guys catch up in the chat. Just type anything you want. Seriously, Leanne, type something. Tell me where you are at least. Give me an update. I miss you. I hope you're doing great. Ask me some questions, something. I don't know. But until then, we'll spin the wheel so it's not awkward like this. And then when I come back, I'll answer all the questions. It's going to be great. Glad to see you, Neil. Oh, this is exciting. My favorite entertainers in my little stream. This is awesome. What does that say? Shakespeare. Fantastic. I got a whole bunch of new Shakespeare. Let's go to the Shakespeare stage. Let's start with a speech because I just downloaded a whole bunch of new Shakespeare speeches I've been working on. This is fun. How about I must eat the dinner? Oh, that's a good one. They met me in the day, how sweet the moonlight. Let's do Oh Reason Not the Need. This is from King Lear. It's spoken by King Lear, Act 2, Scene 4. Reason not the need. Our basest beggars are in the poorest things superfluous. Allow not nature more than nature needs. Man's life is cheap as beasts. Thou art a lady. Why, if only to go warm and thou art a lady. If only to go warm and gorgeous. Why, nature needs not what thou gorgeous wear'st, for scarcely keeps thee warm. But for true need, you heavens, give me that patience. Patience I need. You see me here, you gods, a poor old man as full of grief as age, wretched in both. If it be you that stirs these daughters' hearts against their father, fool me not so much to bear it tamely. Touch me with noble anger, and let not women's weapons water drops stain my man's cheeks. No, you unnatural hags! I will have such revenges on you both, that all the world. I will do such things, what they are yet I know not, but they shall be the terrors of the earth. You think I'll weep? No, I'll not weep. I have full cause of weeping, but this heart shall break into 100,000 flaws. Oh, here I'll weep. Oh, fool, I shall go mad. I like having a room I can yell in. Oh, cool, let's go to the chat. Hope that didn't freak everybody out over their coffee. Currently in Nashville, that's the country music. Wait a minute, what? You are specific, correct me if I'm wrong. Is not your brand, your band, your livelihood, to country for Nashville, and yet you're going to Nashville anyway? I don't want to judge. No, I'm sure Nashville's a great place. Some of the greatest musicians, most of the greatest musicians in the world live there from what I'm told. My favorite musician, Ben Folds, he lives in Nashville. So if you run into him, tell him Johnny thinks he's cool. And Christopher, my buddy Neil, is still in Melbourne, Florida, a beautiful city. It's far enough away from Daytona and Miami to be fun. Just the other side of Orlando. It's great. All right, I got no more chats. Let's go back to the spin the wheel. Yet what they are, yet I know not. Yeah, that's a guy response, all right. Oh, monologue, fun. Okay, let's go on down to the campfire to do a monologue. Nah, let's do it at the theater. Do it at the theater. I got a couple long ones, and I got a couple short ones. I think I'm going to read. This is from No Country for Old Men. This is Ed Tom. I was sheriff of this county when I was 25. Hard to believe. Grandfather was a lawman, father too. Me and him was sheriff at the same time, him in Plano and me here. I think he was pretty proud of that. I know I was. Some of the old-time sheriffs never even wore a gun. A lot of folks find that hard to believe. Jim Scarborough never carried one. That was the younger Jim. Gaston Boykins wouldn't wear one up in Comanche County. I always like to hear about the old-timers. Never missed a chance to do so. Old man Hoskins over in Baltrap County knowed everybody's phone number off by heart. You can't help but compare yourself against the old-timers. Can't help but wonder how they would have operated these times. There was this boy I sent to Huntsville here a while back. My arrest and my testimony. He killed a 14-year-old girl. Paper said it was a crime of passion, but he told me there wasn't any passion to it. Told me that he'd been planning to kill somebody for about as long as he could remember. Said that if they turned him out, he'd do it again. Said he knew he was going to hell. Be there in about 15 minutes. I don't know what to make of that. I surely don't. The crime you see now, it's hard to even take its measures. It's not that I'm afraid of it. I always knew you had to be willing to die to even do this job. Not to be glorious. But I don't want to push my chips forward and go out and meet something I don't understand. You could say it's my job to fight it, but I don't know what it is anymore. More than that, I don't want to know. A man would have to put his soul at hazard. You'd have to say, okay, I'll be a part of this world. Go back to the chat. Yay! Oh, noon till 3. I'll be sure to check it out if I possibly can. Have a great time, Leanne. We'll miss you. Where are they yet? I know not know. Yeah, that's an old man response to be sure. Thanks for sticking your head in, Leanne. This is great. I miss you. Give my best to Joelle. And, yeah, I guess I got nothing else to say. Guy responds. I'm a big fan of Cormac McCarthy. I just added a whole bunch of Cormac McCarthy monologues. He wrote, of course, No Country for Old Men, and he also wrote one of my favorite plays, The Sunset Limited, which I have a couple of monologues from that I might do a little bit later. So, I don't know if you enjoy Cormac McCarthy, but I sure do. You got to check him out. I'm too stupid to read his books, but his plays are great. The books are good too. I can't focus. He doesn't use commas and stuff. It throws me. Let's spin the wheel. Let's do something light. All right, a song. Let's go on to the campfire. Do a happy song. Let's do... This is exciting. I don't know what to do. Yeah, we'll just pick one. Here's The Luckiest by Ben Folds. This is the song I got married to, and it's one of my favorites. Ben Folds lives in Nashville. The Luckiest. Should have piano, but I can't play this part of the piano yet. I don't get many things right the first time. In fact, I am told that a lot. Now I know all the wrong turns, the stumbles and falls brought me here. And where was I before the day when I first saw your lovely face? Now I see it every day. And I know that I am the luckiest. What if I'd been born 50 years before you in a house on a street where you lived? Maybe I'd be outside as you passed on your bike, would I know? And in a white sea of eyes, I see one pair that I recognize, and I know that I am the luckiest. I love you more than I can ever found a way to say to you. Next door, there's an old man who lived to his 90s, then one day passed away in his sleep. And his wife, well, she stayed for a couple of days and passed away. I'm sorry, I know that's a strange way to tell you that I know we belong. And I know that I am the luckiest. I love that song. That was a good day. Whoop, wrong button. There we go. That was a great day. For the folks watching at home, Neil performed my wedding ceremony. He was the one who stood in front of everybody in my graduation robe and said, Marriage is what brings us together today. Marriage, that blessed arrangement, that dream within a dream. Of course, he didn't do the voice. He did it very straightforward, and he was wonderful, full of love. Why am I saying him? It's you. You were fantastic. You were such a good friend. I miss you a lot, man. Thanks for sticking your head in here. This is good. So few people I really care about, then they grow apart, you know? I don't mean it to happen that way. Well, I'll tell you what, let's spin the wheel. Did we see Ben Folds? I think we went and saw him. I think it was in Georgia. Was that you? I think that was you. Let's spin the wheel. All right, here we go. Oh, didn't spin. Thought it was going to spin. Didn't spin. Here we go. A monologue. All right. Man, this is pretty heavy today. Let's go to the theater, do a monologue. I would like to perform The Nitwit School. This is from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This is Frank delivering his monologue to a psychiatrist who's trying to get in his head. I ain't talking about nothing. This skull is Fort Knox. I opened to a therapist once, just once. I was a kid. I got into a fight. The doctor asked me question after question. He got me so scrambled up. The next thing you know, I was shanghaied upstate to a nitwit school. Do you know what a nitwit school is? Yeah. Not just the brains either, but bodies too. Back then, the science was real crude. They stuck us all together. My roommate was a frog kid. You ever see a frog kid? Yeah, the place was windowless. There was a guard every 10 feet. All the rooms had drains in the floors so they could hose us down. Got my first kiss there. Oh, God, it was terrible. But not her. She was an angel. Always smiling. Because she had no lips, but her mouth was still very much in play. Oh, God, she died 2 weeks later. She thought she was a spaceman with a plastic bag for a helmet. Oh, you unzipped me. It's all coming back, you understand? It's all coming back. I don't like it. I don't like to think about it. Oh, with a plastic bag for a helmet. You unzipped me. There we go. Hopefully that wasn't terrifying for anyone watching. All right. Hey, I'm going to give myself a round of applause for that one because it's weird. You got a button that does applause and says yeah. It also turns it off. Yeah. I'm updating this thing every single day. It's exciting. All right, let's go back and spin the wheel. Yeah, got any requests? Let me know. Here we go. Wisdom. Excellent. Let's head on down to the wisdom. Today we're going to start with Alan Watts. I always like Alan Watts, so we're going to do this one. Solids and spaces go together as inseparably as insides and outsides. Space is the relationship between bodies, and without it there can be neither energy nor motion. If there were a body, just one single ball with no surrounding space, there would be no way of conceiving or feeling it as a ball or any other shape. If there were nothing outside it, it would have no outside. It might be God, but certainly not a body. So too, if there were just space alone with nothing in it, there wouldn't be space at all. For there is no space except space between things, inside things or outside things. This is why the space is the relationship between bodies. Can we imagine one lonely body, the only ball in the universe in the midst of empty space? Perhaps. But this ball would have no energy, no motion. In relation to what could it be said to be moving? Things are said to be moving only when compared with others that are relatively still. For motion is motion and stillness. So let's have two balls and notice that they come close to each other and get further apart, all right? Sure, there's motion now, but which one is moving? Ball one, ball two, or both? There is no way of deciding. All answers are equally right and wrong. Now bring in a third ball, all right? Balls 1 and 2 stay the same distance apart, but ball 3 approaches or retreats from them. Or does it? Balls 1 and 2 may be moving together, towards or away from 3. Or balls 1 and 2 may be approaching 3 as 3 approaches them, so that all are in motion. How can we tell? How do we decide? One answer is that because balls 1 and 2 stay together, they are a group, and also constitute a majority. Their vote will therefore decide who is moving and who is not. But if 3 joins them, it can lick them. For if all three stay the same distance apart, the whole group, as the universe, cannot move. It will even be impossible to say any one to say to the other two, or any two to the other one, why do you keep following us around? For the group as a whole will have no point of reference to whether or not it's moving. Note that whereas two balls alone can move only in a straight line, three balls can move within a surface, but not in 3 dimensions. The moment we add a fourth ball, we get the third dimension of depth, and now it would seem that our fourth ball could stand apart from the other three, taking an objective view of their behavior and act as the referee. Yet, when we have added the fourth, which one is it? Any one of them can be in the third dimension with respect to the other three. This might be called a first lesson in relativity, for the principle remains the same no matter how many balls are added, and therefore applies to all celestial bodies in the universe and to all observers of their motion, wheresoever located. Any galaxy, any star, any planet, or any observer can be taken as the central point of reference, so that everything is central in relation to everything else. Now, in all this discussion, one possibility has been overlooked. Suppose that the balls don't move at all, but that the space between them moves. After all, we speak of a distance, i.e. space, increasing or decreasing, as if it were a thing that could do something. This is the problem of the expanding universe. Are the other galaxies moving away from ours, or ours from them, or all from each other? Astronomers are trying to settle the problem by saying that space itself is expanding. But again, who is to decide? What moves, the galaxies or the space? The fact that no decision can be reached is itself the clue to the answer. Not just that both the galaxies and space are expanding, as if they were two different agents, but something which we must clumsily call galaxies in space, or solid in space, is expanding. The problem comes up when we ask the question in the wrong way. We suppose that solids were one thing and space quite another, or just nothing, whatever. Then it appears that space was no mere nothing, because solids couldn't do without it. But the mistake in the beginning was to think of solids and space as two different things, instead of two aspects of the same thing. That's from Alan Watts. Let's spin a wheel. Oh, camping. There we go. Man, I love that Alan Watts. Joke. Nice. All right, let's head on down to the theater. I'll tell you a joke. A man gets thrown into prison. On his first day, he sits down in the yard, he's looking all around, and he sees one prisoner talking to another. The one prisoner says to the other guy, he says, hey, 23. Everybody laughs. A couple minutes later, a different prisoner walks up and says, hey, 15. Everybody laughs. Now, the young prisoner's confused. So he goes to an old timer and he says, listen, what's going on? Why are these guys saying numbers and laughing? Well, the thing is, we've all been in prison so long, we know all the jokes. We've heard them from each other. So now we just number them. We just say the number. So the new guy trying to fit in, he goes up to the prison block. Everybody's working out, working hard. He goes up and he says, hey, fellas, 4. Everybody stares at him. The old timer comes up, puts his arm around him, says, kid, some people can tell a joke. Some people can't. That's a little bonus punchline in case you didn't get the first one. All right, here we go. That was fun. Let's spin the wheel. Some people can tell a joke. Oh, I wonder what that says. Oh, it's blue. Feelings. Oh, no. All right, let's go to Chat Chalet. Talk about my feelings. And you could certainly talk about yours. Feeling very grateful. Feeling very happy to be married. Feeling very happy to have kids. Feeling very happy to not have to work every single day. Being able to have the kind of luxury that gives me my own little world to play around in for a couple hours a week. This is fun. I'm spending a lot of time trying to figure out the part of my hair. Last week it was parted this way. This week it's parted this way, or vice versa. Strike that, reverse it. And I'm trying to figure out which one looks right, because I'm vain, and that's fun. My dreams are getting weirder. The kids are healthy. The house is filthy because I haven't been cleaning it, but I'm not depressed. A friend of mine checked in. That was kind of scary. There's a friend of mine who used to do a show with, and she wrote me because she knew that I had suicidal tendencies. I've had that problem for a long time. It's a lot better now than it used to be. But she wrote me, and we aren't even friends anymore. She kind of destroyed my podcast, in my opinion, and I was worried about her. And still, she wrote me So that kind of threw me off yesterday. I spent the whole night trying to figure out how to handle that and how to respectfully try to lift her up. But other than that, things are good. I got shows coming up this week. I got my writing group in just a couple minutes. Going to take the kids to the bouncy house tonight. You know, I'm a happy man. I think that's all I got to say about feelings. Let's spin the wheel. Ask me anything. Oh, this ought to be fun. Currently, Facebook tells me there are 2 people watching, so I am going to try anyway. Ask me anything into the chat chalet. Anything that you ask in the chat chalet, I will answer. Let's get 60 seconds on the clock, and we will do Ask Me Anything. Anything you type in, I will answer. Listen, I'm going to step away for a second while you ask as many questions as you can. Let's see, I have a takeover dog for just such an occasion. Forget about it. You guys wait here. I'll be right back. Ask questions. Lots of questions. 60 seconds on the clock. I'm just going to refill my coffee. I won't be far. And then I can talk from all the way over here. I have to see how that sounds later. And I am back. 30 seconds left to ask me anything you want. This is fun. I'm back. Everything's fine. Ten seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. All right, my friends. The time has come to answer every question. The first question / only question, well done. What's up with the dreams? Nothing exciting. I've been a pretty big marijuana smoker most of my life, about half of it now anyway, since I was 23. I think you were there for that. And I don't remember most of my dreams. I know I have them, but I don't remember most of them. I just remember weird moments of being trapped in cruise ships and needing to pee. Stuff like that. It's just weird moments. You know, backstage. Weird moments. But I'm good. How do I like my coffee? I'm glad you asked. First, the correct response. I like my coffee like I like my women. Black, hot, and full of booze. But the truth is just black. I take my coffee black. I love it. The one that I wrote is, I like my coffee like I like my women. Whatever's available to me. Hot. Well, that was a good time. Let's go back and spin the wheel. No, Flash Player, I don't need you right now. How do you take your coffee? It's been a while since I've had a cup of coffee with you. Ooh, joke. All right. Let's see if I can remember another one. Let's go back to the theater. I'll do this one for you, because it's just Neil. I'm going to do Norm Macdonald's moth joke. Moth goes into a podiatrist's office, and the podiatrist says, "What seems to be the problem, Moth?" The moth says, "What's the problem? Where do I begin? I go to work for Gregory Ilyanovich, and each day long I work. Honestly, Doc, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I don't even know if Gregory Ilyanovich knows. He only knows that he has power over me, and that seems to bring him happiness. But I don't know. I wake up in a malaise, and I walk here and there. At night, sometimes I wake up and I turn to some old lady in my bed that's on my arm. A lady that I once loved, Doc. I don't know where to turn. My youngest, Alexandria, she fell in the cold last year. The cold took her, as it did many of us. And my other boy, and this is the hardest pill to swallow, Doc, my other boy, Grigoro Ilyanovich, I no longer love him. As much as it pains me to say, when I look into his eyes, all I see is the same cowardice that I catch when I take a glimpse of my own face in the mirror. If only I wasn't such a coward, then perhaps I could bring myself to reach over to that cocked and loaded gun that lays on the bedside beneath me and end this hellish facade once and for all. Doc! Sometimes I feel like a spider, even though I'm a moth, just barely hanging on to my web with everlasting fire underneath me. I'm not feeling good. And so the doctor says, "Moth, man, you are troubled, but you should be seeing a psychiatrist. Why'd you come here?" And the moth said, "Because the light was on." There you go, the longest joke I know. Let's spin the wheel. Monologue. All right, then. Let's go down to, let's do the theater monologue. This is a longer piece. This isn't actually a monologue so much as a chapter written by George Carlin in his book, Last Words, published after he died. It's called Being, Doing, Getting, and it is the best description I have ever seen of what it feels like to be a comedian. So I hope you enjoy it. As a matter of fact, let me move this up a little bit. View, full screen. There we go. View, full screen. There we are. On 123rd Street, when I was young, we had a game called the Gripers. That struck terror into the neighborhood. Watch the fuck out or we'll come gripe at you. But even though I was in the Gripers, I wasn't a griper. Belonging to any group, for me, was always some ad hoc thing that immediately filled some need, in this case smoking pot, but not what you'd call a deep existential hunger. As soon as I started going steady with my girlfriend, Mary Catherine, I left the group. I was still a card-carrying griper, but it was always Georgie's up in the hall with Mary Catherine. The only gang I wanted to be a part of was the Loners, membership restricted to one, me. In the Air Force, where they enforced group thought, I got around it by hanging with black airmen, completely cutting me out from being any part of the white guys. I was out of that group and happy to be. Then I became a disc jockey downtown off base. I'm already edging away from Air Force group thought. I'm apart, different, alone in front of the mic, almost back to my gang of one. It always seemed to me that the reasons groups came together were superficial. The group didn't feed me, and I had nothing to contribute to it. I had a deeper goal, which was only going to happen if they left me alone. No one but me can figure it out. No one can help me with it. All the group stuff, rules, uniform, rituals, bonding, was a distraction. It denied me the chance to solve the giant puzzle. Who the fuck am I? How did I come together? What are the parts, and how do they fit? The aloneness of the stage makes groups irrelevant. Few things dramatize the face-off between loner and group more starkly than the artist before the audience. And there's an irony here. If this loner can't get the audience to act as a group, laugh together, he's fucked. When things go well on stage, I don't just think they like me, they accept me, they think I'm clever. All those things happen, but I'm also looking inside to see what else is going on. And when I do, there is a sense in those moments, I am more than alone. I am the only thing in the universe. I am the only thing that's happening in it. No way to escape the progression of moments as they come up on stage, the next line and the next line, the next laugh and the next laugh, which include my hands and the tilt of my jaw, how wide I open my eyes, whether I put more energy into it or slow it down a little with my voice. There is nothing happening in the universe outside of that reality and that experience. When besides that, I'm being rewarded with all this approval, attention, approbation for something that is solely mine and only I can do. There can't be anything better than that. To be intensely alone, intensely myself, in control of everything, the center of a self-created universe. The creation of material is the ultimate freedom because that's creating the world I want. I'm saying to people, the world you imagine isn't really true. This is what's happening. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Even though I am momentarily changing the world to this. I am reinventing the world because I can. So long as you're down there and I'm up here, freedom is what I say goes. That's the freedom I always have. I'm alone. Nobody else wrote it but me. There are no amplifiers, no counting off, no staying in the same key. There are words I have to know, but I made them all up. My job is making up things that aren't and telling people that they are. That's what I do. What greater freedom can there be? To say the world is upside down. It's not what you think at all. It's my world. I invented it. Fuck you. I loved it when I was a kid. And other kids would say, Georgie, you're so fucking crazy. You ever seen Carlin? He's fucking crazy. I still love it. When people say, you're weird, you have a strange mind, it means way more to me than if they say, you're a very funny man. Of course, when they say you're a very funny man and you have a strange way of looking at things, I just swell up. It's the greatest thing that I can hear. So part of me wants to let them see my weird side, and part of me wants them to see the serious craft it takes to dig this stuff out and turn it into art. And there's some need for me to connect with them. The whole thing is probably about connecting. Standing up in front of a group of people and saying, "Hey folks, look at me, ain't I great? Please induct me into your imaginary club of people you like. I want to be in that." And then there's the need to find out things about them, to make kinships. I feel this way about abortion, Volvos, and farts. Yeah, me too. You too? Okay! Is there any connection between gradually leaving drugs behind and gradually discovering this process, devouring it, living for it? I would absolutely give that credence. During my drug period, the only thing that was important to me was getting high and fulfilling dates when I could. I don't recall these feelings of pursuing and appreciating artistry, the increasing ability to create. I'm sure the drugs blocked that sort of thing out, if it was there at all. At the risk of sounding psychobabbly, maybe it's that once the drugs are gone as artificial stimulation, thrill, high, and escape, the real stimulation, thrill, high, and escape can make themselves known. Whether or not such things are needed in the first place drives the whole prohibition versus non-prohibition debate. But for me, it could be that stimulation, thrill, high, and escape are legitimate human needs and have now shown up in a more benign suit of clothes. Whether performance is or isn't addictive, it's certainly habituating, even though a lot of the show doesn't change from night to night, but then nor did the drugs. I'll find myself in the middle of something I've done 500 times, and it's intoxicating. It's totally consuming. There are nuances, little ways to play with each word in a sentence. And simultaneously, I'm thinking, boy, wait until they hear House of Blues or Guys Named Todd or whatever it is, at the same time as I punch home the lines I'm doing. Sometimes I'll be in the midst of a list. I love to rattle off 12 things in a row. And I'll be around the third or fourth, and the one part of me will say, "You don't know what the last one is." And I'll reply, "Oh, I know, but we'll know it when we get there." And we're going to number 12. And I say the word before it with no clue what comes next. I couldn't consciously tell you the next word is Wilhelmina, but boom, there's a Wilhelmina right on cue. Right on cue. There's an electric, magical, mysterious thing about that. Nothing to do with the audience. It's not about performing. It's watching one corner of your mind work from another corner of your mind. That happens a lot to me. And I vaguely recall, happened a lot on drugs too. Outside of these internal divisions of attention is a paradox. The reality is that the only thing that is happening for the audience also is that same line, that Wilhelmina moment. When they laugh, we're acting as one. In that moment, they're part of me, another aspect of me. An audience is the only group I can tolerate, because the audience wouldn't be a group if it wasn't for me, which extends to every other audience that has ever liked me. More and more as I get older, when people come up to me in public places to tell me how much they enjoyed some piece at a concert or club as long as 40 years ago, I mentally see an audience of millions stretching away into the darkness. Individuals who, in a sense, I've met and some spark has passed between us. Actual humans in whose presence I've been and who's been in mine. 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 at a time, but also one-on-one. Whenever they laughed, in that moment, I was speaking to them directly. Faces with favorites. I overhear them in the lobby sometimes. "Oh, wait till you hear There's No God." Or someone who loved A1 Steele when she was little. Al Sleet, that's what that's supposed to say, who loved Al Sleet when she was little. They're part of the family. They're kindred. Live performance does that for you as nothing else can. And I think very few comics in my generation can say that. Outside of my audience, groups repel me, because for the sake of group thought, they kill individuality, that wonderful human oneness. I am wide open to individuals. Love individuals. Individuals are just great. Even the most evil man on earth who's just eaten a whole dog, I find fascinating and interesting. I'd love to spend a minute or two with him, discuss the preparation. You put a little salt on that, use a little cream. I'd look in his eyes, and his eyes would be from someplace God knows where in the universe, and yet for that reason, fascinating. Every individual set of eyes you look into gives you something, whether it's a blank wall or an infinite regress of barbershop mirrors, just as fascinating. There's something in all individuals. I make room for them psychically, even though I might want to get away after a minute and a half. People are wonderful, one at a time. Each of them has an entire hologram of the universe somewhere within them. But as soon as individuals begin to clump, as soon as they begin to clot, they change. Sometimes you have a friend and you say, "Gee, Joe's a great guy, but when he's with Phil, he's a real jack-off." Or, now that he's with Linda, the fucking guy is different. He's changed. He's not the same old Joe. Groups of 3, 5, 10, 15. Suddenly we have a special little hats. We have armbands. We have a marching song, a secret handshake, and a list of people we don't agree with. Next we have target practice and playing the things we have to take care of Friday night. One of my lists once was people I can do without. Near the top, people who say, long live such and such, and then kill someone to accomplish it. The ideal grouping for human beings is 1, with the occasional sexual visit to the lady in the next group. Temporary twosomes are fine. Once upon a time, people might have been good up to 10 or 12 or 100 or so, whatever the ideal tribal unit was. When everybody took care of everybody else's children, there were no last names, no patriarchy, no patrimony. When property was unheard of. You might have personal stuff. This is my favorite rock. I got an axe I made. But no one owns the tent. Everybody belongs in that tent as long as we have our fire. What buffalo there belonged to everyone if we can kill one? Something about that is awfully compelling, but we lost it long ago. The larger the group, the more toxic. The more of your beauty as an individual you have to surrender for the sake of group thought. And when you suspend your individual beauty, you also give up a lot of your humanity. You will do things in the name of a group that you will never do on your own. Injuring, hurting, killing, drinking are all part of it because you've lost your identity, because you now owe your allegiance to this thing that's bigger than you and controls you. It happens in police culture. You get talking with individual cops, and they're just the greatest fucking guys in the world. But you know that when they're making a domestic disturbance call in the black section of town, they're going to hit first and ask questions later. And if you happen to be there and call them on it, you'd be the enemy, right or wrong. That great fucking guy would be gone. It's the same with military men, with corporate assholes, the same anywhere on earth. And by the way, America's groups are no better than anyone else's. The worst thing about groups are their values, traditional values, American values, family values, shared values, our values. Just code for white middle-class prejudices and discrimination, justification for greed and hatred. Do I value a flag? No, of course not. Do I value words on a piece of paper? Depends whose words they are. Do I believe in family values? Depends on whose family. Most are pretty toxic, and that plural already has me suspicious. So I have a few holdings concerning potential behavior that an outsider could define as values. It's received beliefs, received wisdom, received values I have trouble with. My affection for people as individuals and the fact that I identify with them doesn't extend to the structures they built, the terrible job they've done organizing themselves, the fake values they supposedly hold society together. Bullshit is the glue of our society. I love anarchy. Anarchy and comedy are a team. But along with anarchy's hostility with authority, I have a deep suspicion man is not on the right path. Man went wrong a long, long time ago. The private property thing. This is mine. You don't own that. Religion backing up property. Religion backing up the state. We say this king will be fine. The king saying I am the king and the moon is my uncle and he tells me when to plant the crop. All this mass hypnosis, which is certainly akin to the hypnosis caused by mass. I no longer identify with my species. I haven't for a long time. I identify more with carbon atoms. I don't feel comfortable or safe in this planet. From the standpoint of my work and peace of mind, the safest thing, the thing that gives me most comfort, is to identify with the atoms and the stars and simply contemplate the folly of my fellow species members. I can divorce myself from the pain of it all. Once, if I identify with individuals, I felt pain. If I identify with groups, I saw people who repelled me. So now I identify with no one. I have no passion anymore for any of them, victims or perpetrators. Right or left, women or men, I'm still human. I haven't abandoned my humanity, but I have put it in a place that allows my art to function free of entanglements. My job is to watch the ludicrous dance down here for the humor and entertainment it provides, and drop in every now and then to show my former species how fucked up they are. Years ago, I began to recede past Jupiter and its moons, out to the Oort cloud of trillions of comets, beyond the planet formerly known as Pluto, back home with my fellow atoms, all of which originally came from some star or other, and not necessarily the one that we're circling. I believe that I am bigger than the universe, I am smaller than the universe, and I am equal to it. I'm bigger than the universe because I can picture it. I can define it in my mind and everything that's in it, and contain all that in my mind in a single thought. A thought that's not even the only one in there. It's right between shit, my ass itches, and why don't we fuck the waitress? That thought, with all the others, is inside the 23-inch circumference of my cranium. So I'm bigger than the universe. I'm smaller than it because that's obvious. I'm 5'9" and 150 pounds, and the universe is somewhat taller and heavier. I'm equal to it because every atom in me is the same as every atom the universe is made of. I'm part of that proto-galaxy 5 billion light years away and of that cigarette butt in Cleveland. There are no differences. We're equal. Unlike our fake democracy, the democracy of atoms is real. Depending on my given mood on a given day, I can reflect on one of these three relationships for a moment and find comfort in it, and know that I'm really at one with the universe and will return to it on a more fundamental level someday. My reunion with it and all the rest is a journey, a game, a comedy, a parade. After I die, I'd love to be fired into space. That's probably not practical given the crowded nature of the upper atmosphere. So one of the codicils of my will is, George Carlin, being of sound mind, do not wish upon my demise to be burned or cremated. I wish to be blown up. That's a wonderful piece. All right. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. See if anybody's in the chat. Oh, there's people here. Let's go. Hey, new joke. Good deal. He said that's a new one. Thank you. New for me at least. And Josh said, here's Johnny. Sup, brother? How you doing, Josh? Hope you're feeling well. Hope everything's pine dry out there in the beautiful Northwest or Southwest. Either the West. How about just the West? That's fine. Thanks for coming in. That was a reading from George Carlin's book, Last Words. And it's one of my favorite pieces of writing ever. So it was a real pleasure to read that. I hope you're doing well. I'm healthy, happy, rich, and pretty. Let's spin the wheel. Glad you came, Josh. I just did 2 monologues. Happy Sunday to you. We got hearts and a thumbs up. I'll take it. Ask me anything. All right, we'll try it again. Hey, Josh, now's your chance. 60 seconds on the clock to ask me absolutely anything you would like to know, and I will gladly answer it. Ask me anything. Here we go. 60 seconds on the clock. You type it all in, and I'll answer every question you've got. Maybe you got questions about life, about love, about stand-up comedy, about philosophy. Maybe you got questions about movies. You want to talk about a show you saw? Now's your chance. Type it in the thing. There's no wrong answer. It's ask me anything. That's what makes it fun. I'm going to get some more coffee, like I need it. It's okay, I'm back. We got 20 seconds left on the clock, my friends. 20 seconds to ask me anything. Now's your chance. Oh, I love this part. The suspense. 10 seconds left. Okay. Could be anything. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ask me anything. And Josh wrote, Arizona a little wet today. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's cold. It's below freezing here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah, it's about 32 degrees when I woke up this morning, and I had frost on the windshield, just like old times. It's nice to see. Kind of missed Arizona on that day. All right. The Ask Me Anything is either time lagged or nothing was asked, so let's spin the wheel. Still, it's fun to try, and I get to refill my coffee. Poem. Let's go do a poem. This is A November Night by Sarah Teasdale. There, see the line of lights? A chain of stars down either side of the street? Why can't you lift the chain and give it to me? A necklace for my throat. I'd twist it round and you could play with it. You smile at me as though I were a little dreamy child behind whose eyes the fairies live. And see, the people on the street look up at us, all envious. We are a king and queen. Our royal carriage is a motor bus. We watch our subjects with a haughty joy. How still you are. Have you been hard at work and are you tired tonight? It is so long since I have seen you, 4 whole days, I think. My heart is crowded full of foolish thoughts like early flowers in an April meadow, and I must give them to you, all of them, before they fade. The people I have met, the play I saw, the trivial shifting things that loom too big or shrink too little, shadows that hurry, gesturing along a wall, haunting and gay, and yet they all grow real and take their proper size here in my heart when you have seen them. There's the plaza now, a lake of light. Tonight, it almost seems that all the lights are gathered in your eyes, drawn somehow toward you. See the open park, lying below us with a million clamps scattered in wise disorder like the stars. We look down on them as God must look down on constellations floating under him, tangled in clouds. Come then, and let us walk, since we have reached the park. It is our garden, all black and blossomless this winter night. But we bring April with us, you and I. We set the whole world on the trail of spring. I think that every path we ever took has marked our footprints in mysterious fire, delicate gold that only fairies see. When they wake up at dawn in hollow tree trunks and come out on the drowsy park, they look along the empty paths and say, oh, here they went, and here, and here, and here. Come, see, here is their bench. Take hands and let us dance about it in a windy ring and make a circle round it they can cross when they come back again. Look at the lake. Do you remember how we watched the swans that night in late October while they slept? Swans must have stately dreams, I think. But now the lake bears only thin reflected lights that shake a little. How I long to take one from the cold black water, new-made gold to give you in your hand. And see, there is a star, deep in the lake, a star! Oh, dimmer than a pearl. If you stoop down, your hand could almost reach it up to me. There was a new frail yellow moon tonight. I wish you could have had it for a cup with stars like dew to fill it to the brim. How cold it is. Even the lights are cold. They have put shawls of fog around them, see? What if the air should grow so dimly white that we would lose our way along the paths made new by walls of moving mist, receding the more we follow? What a silver night. That was our bench the time you said to me the long new poem. But how different now. How eerie, with the curtain of the fog making it strange to all the friendly trees. There is no wind, and yet the great curving scrolls carve themselves, ever changing in the mist. Walk on a little. Let me stand here watching to see you, too, grown strange to me and far. I used to wonder how the park would be if one night we could have it all alone. No lovers with clothes, arm-encircled waists to whisper and break it upon in our dreams. And now we have it. Every wish comes true. We are alone now in a fleecy world. Even the stars have gone. We too, alone. That's a beautiful poem. Let's go back to the chat. Oh, all right, we got some questions. Right on, right on. I think that's a great plan, Neil. I think you're exactly right, and I will do that from now on. Let me read what the folks have said. Christopher asked me, where would I want to go but haven't yet on a cruise? I have taken every cruise that I'm aware of on the Caribbean side of things. I love going to Canada when I get a chance. The one place I haven't been on a cruise is Hawaii. I wouldn't mind going to Hawaii on a cruise. I'm curious what that would be like. So I've been to Hawaii. I've performed in Hawaii. I just haven't been there on a ship. I'm curious what it would look like from, 10 stories up. I bet you it's awfully pretty. So that's the question. Next question. I think there's too much delay. That makes sense. Maybe when you roll an AMA, set it up, and then do another category, then come back to the question that we have. Hopefully, we'll be in it by then. That makes perfect sense. I will definitely try it next time AMA comes up. All right, let's spin the wheel. That's not the wheel. Let's do a Zen koan. Most of you know, Zen koans are short stories, usually morality tales, used in the study of Zen Buddhism. Now, I'm trying to learn a little bit about it myself. This is koan number 40 in Dreamland. Our schoolmaster used to take a nap every afternoon, related a disciple of Soyen Shaku. We children asked him why he did it, and he told us, I go to Dreamland to meet the old sages, just as Confucius did. When Confucius slept, He would dream of ancient sages and later tell his followers about them. It was extremely hot one day, so some of us took our nap. Our schoolmaster scolded us. We went to dreamland to meet the ancient sages, the same as Confucius did, we explained. What was the message from those sages? Our schoolmaster demanded. One of us replied, we went to dreamland and met the sages and asked them if our schoolmaster came there every afternoon, but they said they had never seen any such fellow. Pretty clever. Ooh, got another question. Let's go back to the chat. My favorite venue that I've ever performed. There's a theater called Ovens in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where the big comics play. I got to open for Jim Gaffigan there once, and that was awesome. That was about 1,200 people. I did a show in Winnemucca, in Winnemucca, Nevada, opening for the late, the young lady's name I can't remember. She's a country music singer. Several relatives. Judd. I opened for Winona Judd in Winnemucca, and that was about 5,000 people. That was pretty cool. But my favorite location is the Booth Playhouse right here in Charlotte. It seats about 300. Every now and then I get to do a show called Rouge, so I get to play there. And also, the very first time I ever played there, I opened for the Muppets. I walked in and I got to do audience warm-up for a Muppet-based episode of the Bachelorette they shot in Charlotte. I had no idea. I was just doing TV warm-up, but it turns out that all the Muppets were there, the whole crew. Miss Piggy had a talk show. They did Rainbow Connection at the end. I'm crying like a baby. It was fantastic. So Booth Playhouse is my favorite place to play. Although Visani in Florida is also excellent. If you're going to go comedy clubs, Visani's where it's at. Also in Alabama, there's a place called the Stardome. Gorgeous room. Gorgeous, beautifully run by a guy named Bruce Ayers. They've been the place to go for years and years. So I hope that answers some of your questions. All right, let's spin the wheel. What's the best venue you've ever been to? I'm always a connoisseur of beautiful theaters, trying to visit the pretty places. So if you got someplace you've been, tell me all about it. Let's spin the wheel. Shakespeare. Let's go to the Shakespeare stage. As you know, Shakespeare wrote 154 sonnets. So far on the show, we have performed 108. This is sonnet 109 by William Shakespeare. I was false of heart. I got that wrong. This is sonnet 39 by William Shakespeare. Oh, never say that I was false of heart, though absence seemed my flame to qualify. As easy might I from myself depart, as from my soul, which in thy breast doth lie. That is my home of love. If I have ranged, like him that travels, I return again, just to the time, not with the time exchanged, so that myself bring water for my stain. Never believe, though in my nature reigned all frailties that besiege all kinds of blood, that it could so preposterously be stained to leave for nothing all thy sum of good. For nothing this wide universe I call, save thou, my rose, in it thou art my all. Yay! All right, only one sonnet per show. That's the rules. All right, round of applause. You know what? I think you're right. There it is. Still feels good. Feels real to me. All right. Let's spin the wheel. Wrong button again. That's the wrong one too. It'll be fine. Hi. Oh, look. S'more's been written. Joshua says, very cool. You got to get a gig at the Celebrity here in Phoenix. Is that a casino or is that a theater? I'm always curious. I know Louis C.K. taped one of his specials, before everything went wrong in Phoenix, which I always thought was pretty cool. I haven't played in, forever. not since I first got married. I'll go anywhere, any theater, so especially in Arizona. I'll keep an eye out. Thanks for letting me know. All right, now let's spin the wheel. Theater, nice. That's my goal. I'd like to play theaters, some tiny part. Love theaters. Poem. All right, then. Let's go to the Poetry Pagoda. Uh-oh. Hit the wrong button. And I closed the Poetry Pagoda. I'll open it up. Don't worry about a thing. All right, my friends. This one. Go into the full screen here. All right. This is called The Last Ride Together by Robert Browning. I said, then, dearest, since 'tis so, since now at length my fate I know, since nothing all my love avails, since all my life seemed meant for fails, since this was written and needs must be, my whole heart rises up to bless your name in pride and thankfulness. Take back the hope you gave. I claim only a memory of the same, and this beside, if you will not blame, your leave for one more last ride with me. My mistress bent that brow of hers, those deep eyes dark where pride demurs, when pity should be softened through, fixed me a breathing while or two. With life or death and the balance right, the blood replenished me, and that the blood replenished me again. My last thought was at least not vain. I and my mistress, side by side, shall be together, breathe and ride. So one day more I am deified. Who knows but the world may end tonight? Hush! If you saw some western cloud, all billowy bosomed overbowed by many benedictions, suns and moons and evening stars at once, and so you, looking and loving best, conscience grew. Your passion grew cloud, sunset, moonrise, star sign too, down on you, near and yet more dear, till flesh must fade, for heaven was here. Thus lent she learned and lingered, joy and fear. Thus lay she a moment at my breast. Then we began to ride. My soul smoothed itself out, a long, cramped scroll freshening and fluttering in the wind. Past hopes already lay behind. What need to strive with a life awry? Had I said that, had I done this, so might I gain, so might I miss. Might she have loved me? Just as well. She might have hated. Who can tell? Where had I been now if the worst befell? And here we are riding, she and I. Fail I alone in words and deeds? Why, all men strive, and who succeeds? We rode, it seemed my spirit flew, saw other regions, cities new. As the world rushed by on the other side, I thought, no labor, yet no less, bear up beneath their unsuccess. Look at the end of work, contrast the petty done, the undone vast. This present of theirs with the hopeful past. I hoped she would love me. Here we ride. What hand and brain went ever paired? What heart alike conceived and dared? What act proved all its thought had been? What will but felt the fleshly screen? We ride, and I see her bosom heave. There's many a crown for those who can reach. 10 lines, a statesman's life in each. The flag stuck on a heap of bones. A soldier's doing, what atones? They scratch his name on abbey stones. My writing is better, by their leave. What does it all mean, poet? Well, your brains beat into rhythm. You tell what we felt only. You expressed. You hold things beautiful, the best, and pace them side by side. 'Tis something. Nay, 'tis much. But then, have you yourself what's best for men? Are you poor, sick, old ere your time, nearer one which your own sublime, than we could never have turned a rhyme? Sing, writing's a joy. For me, I ride. And you, great sculptor, so you gave a score of years to art, her slave. And that's your Venus, whence we turn to yonder girl that fords the burn. You acquiesce, and shall I repine? What man of music, you grown gray with notes and nothing else to say? Is this your sole praise from a friend? Greatly his opera strains intend, but in music we know how fashions end. I gave my youth, but we ride, in fine. Who knows what's fit for us? Had fate proposed bliss here, should sublimate my being? Had I signed the bond, still one must lead some life beyond. Have a bliss to die with, dim descried. This foot once planted on the goal, this gory garland round my soul. Could I descry much? Try and test. I sink back shuddering from the quest. Earth being so good, would heaven seem best? Now heaven and she are beyond this ride. And yet she has not spoke so long. Was it heaven be that fair and strong at life's best, with our eyes upturned whither life's flower is first discerned? We, fixed so, ever should so abide? What if we still ride on, we two, with life forever old yet new, changed not in kind but in degree, the instant made eternity? And heaven just proved that I and she ride together, forever ride. I like it. All right, let's go check the chat. Saw the movie Nemo there. The movie Nemo, like Finding Nemo, or I haven't seen Nemo, but the theater set up and the decorium is great. There's also a beautiful theater in Tampa called Tampa Theater where they play old movies and occasionally have a show. I love beautiful theaters, and I will definitely check that out. Thank you. Cool, let's spin the wheel. All right, looks like we got a song. Let's go to the campfire and sing a song. This has Got a Lot of Living Left to Do, made famous by the great Sammy Davis Jr. There are girls just ripe for some kissing, and I mean to kiss me a few. Oh, those girls don't know what they're missing. I've got a lot of living to do. And there's wine all ready for tasting. And there's Cadillacs all shiny and new. Gotta move, 'cause time is a-wasting. There's such a lot of living to do. There's music to play and places to go and people to see. Everything for you and me. Life's a ball if only you'd know it. And it's all just waiting for you. You're alive, so come on and show it. There's such a lot of living, such a lot of living, such a lot of living to do. Ha! Living to do. Hang in there, folks. A lot of living left to do. Let's spin the wheel. Whoop. We'll spin the wheel, and then we'll go back and chat some more. Come on, big wheel. Let's see. Done jokes, done koans, done monologues. Haven't done any riddles. Ask me anything. All right, folks. 60 seconds on the clock. Ask me anything. I'm going to forget the clock. We're going to try this thing. Yes, I saw Finding Nemo at the El Capitan Theater. Live performance. It was pretty cool to see the movie in live. It sounded like that they had the orchestra playing the music along with it. I think they're doing that with The Princess Bride, and I am freaking out. I'm definitely going to want to go see that. I've always wanted to hear what The Princess Bride music would sound like if it was played by an orchestra. It's my favorite movie, and it's you know, it sounds very 80s. It's very synthesized. I want to know what it sounds like with real instruments, and I'm very excited. Is that what you mean? So anyway, ask me anything. You got 60 seconds on the clock, all right? So I'm just going to go do something else. And while I'm doing it, type as many questions as you can think of. And then when I come back, I'll answer them. Ask me anything. It's fun. All right, let's spin the wheel. Here we go. Another song. All right, then let's do this one in the theater. Let's do something light. Always look on the bright side of life. Some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. And this'll help things turn out for the best. And always look on the right side of life. Always look on the light side of life. If life seems jolly rotten, there's something you've forgotten, and that's to smile and laugh and dance and sing. If you're feeling in the dumps, don't be silly chumps. Just purse your lips and whistle, that's the thing. And always look on the bright side of life. Everybody. Always look on the right side of life. Just the Floridians. For life is quite absurd, and that's the final word. You must always face the curtain with a bow. Forget about your sin, give the audience a grin. Enjoy it, it's your last chance anyhow. And always look on the bright side of death. Just before you draw your terminal breath. Life's a piece of shit when you look at it. Life's a laugh and death's a joke, it's true. You'll see it's all a show, keep 'em laughing as you go. Just remember that the last laugh is on you. And always look on the bright side of life. Just the Arizonans. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. Okay, I've stalled enough. Let's go and answer the questions in the chat. Oh, I love this part. Anything can happen. Ooh, what's my favorite comedy bit? Okay, man, this is tough because I have so many that I love. Love the dentist bit by the late Bill Cosby. I love pretty much everything done by Brian Regan. He has an album that starts off with a hospital bit. The album is called Brian Regan Live. Hey, that takes some of the guesswork out, doesn't it? It's excellent. You can watch it on, used to be able to buy it from his website. Now you can watch it on YouTube. And he talks at length about the experience of being checked into a hospital. It's very, very funny. I love Modern Man by George Carlin. I love The 5 Levels of Drinking. There's a good one. If you haven't seen The 5 Levels of Drinking by Larry Miller, put that on your watch list because that's some excellent, excellent stand-up comedy. And I really love Jim Gaffigan's bacon bit. He has a bit that's 8 minutes long that's just about bacon from every possible angle, and it's miraculously good. Great question. Do you have a favorite comedy bit? Yeah, type in the chat. I'm curious. All right, let's see. Next question. What is the movie coming this year that you're most looking forward to? Well, I am very excited about seeing Kang the Conqueror. I'm very excited about seeing the Wasp and the Ant-Man and the Quantumania and the Bill Murray. I'm psyched. I like the Marvel movies. I ain't fancy. I think they're very entertaining, and I love that whole franchise. I'm psyched. I watched Loki, right? And I've watched every episode, but I watched the last episode 9-10 times because it's got that awesome monologue by Jonathan Majors, who plays Kang the Conqueror. In that version, he played He Who Must Not Be Named or something like that, or He Who Remains. That's what it was. So I'm excited about seeing that. Yeah, I wish I was more fancy, but that's the one that's in the back of my head. I'd like to see that. Good question. If you could go anywhere in the world, would you go? I can go anywhere in the world, and I don't. I have taken the last 2 years off of traveling, except down to see my parents in Florida and up to New York for a family trip. It looks like we might be taking a family trip. My wife, Debbie, is threatening is the wrong word. She is thinking about taking us. It's our 20th anniversary come May. Wow, yeah, 20 years, buddy. 20 years. And she wants to go to Scotland because I want to go to Scotland. So we might actually get to go to Europe. That's someplace I've always wanted to visit, and I've never been since I was a baby. Great question. Christopher wanted to know, is there something you still have on your bucket list? I would like to sing the national anthem at a stadium of some kind, a full stadium. I don't care if it's a wrestling match, they're playing football, curling, I don't care. I just always wanted to sing in a stadium, so that's still on my bucket list. And finally, what food could I not live without? I was on keto for a few years, and I had to give up ice cream, and that was awful. I love ice cream and I love bagels, and those two things are tough to give up. Almonds, ate a lot of almonds. 20 years, right? 20 years, dude. 20 years! Yeah. But, ice cream. I love ice cream and I love chocolate. Chocolate's been a part of my upbringing. I don't know if you know this, Joshua, but both my grandparents worked at the Hershey factory in Hershey, Pennsylvania for several years. So I'm family. Yeah, there you go. Let's spin the wheel. We're almost out of time. The show ends at 12:30, so if you have any requests, now's the time. We already did too many songs. You know what? Let's go to the theater. I'll play you one of my old stand-up bits. Ladies and gentlemen, my world-famous... Let's find that. There it is. Oh, that's the wrong one again. Dag nabbit. Hi, everybody. Let's go to the movie house. I wanted to go to the movie house. There we go. This is a performance of my favorite bit about Chick-fil-A. This is recorded in 2018 on the Carnival Dream. Check out how skinny and gorgeous I am.
Makes me paranoid when I smoke. And I mean, I get really paranoid. Sometimes I think I'm a cop. And it makes it neurologically impossible to remember that Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays. Son of a bitch! How much of my life do I have to spend in that drive-thru feeling stupid? Okay, there's a couple blank stares out there. Maybe some of you have never visited Chick-fil-A. Welcome, my friends. Chick-fil-A is a restaurant. It's a fast food restaurant. It's my favorite fast food restaurant, mostly in the South. It's where they make delicious chicken sandwiches with not one, but 2 pickles. That's right, 2 pickles, that's it, because you deserve it. No lettuce, no tomato, no sauce. 2 pickles. You want some onions? Go shopping. 2 pickles. And they have excellent customer service, and when you say thank you, they say my pleasure. And they have an advanced ketchup distribution system, and they have a delicious potato product. They call them waffle fries, but they shouldn't call them waffle fries because they don't look like waffles. They don't smell like waffles. They don't taste like waffles. They don't feel like waffles. They sound like waffles, but so does the Liberty Bell. It looks like somebody gave a switchblade and the potato to Salvador Dali and said, "Go nuts." And they have a slide for the kids, and they make their own ice cream, and they hate gay people, and they're closed on Sunday. One of these things is not like the other. Can you guess what it is? It's the hate. I strongly disagree with their politics, but I eat there anyway because I am a hungry, hungry hypocrite. Unless it's Sunday and they're closed. And obviously they're closed on Sundays because God hates chicken. So it is written. God hates chicken. I can prove it. That's why he calls them foul, brothers and sisters. Because God hates chicken. That is why he gave them wings, but denied them to give the flight. Because in the eyes of the Almighty, chicken is an abomination. And that is why we hide eggs on Easter morning. I figured it out. If God didn't hate chicken, he wouldn't have taught cows how to spell. Even poorly. Closed on Sundays. What is this, 1774? You trying to tell me Chick-fil-A can't find a Jew to make chicken sandwiches one day? A straight Jew, fine. A straight Jewish person to make chicken sandwiches one day a week. That's what makes America great. We've got everybody, so we can all do our thing. Jews rest on Saturdays. Christians rest on Sundays. Muslims rest on Fridays. Buddhists and Hindus rest whenever they get tired. Agnostics? Who knows? Atheists get nothing. Back to work, heathens. No rest for the wicked. Got all quiet on me there. That Chick-fil-A joke took a weird turn, didn't it?
Huh? So that was a good time. I enjoyed that bit. Don't get to do that much anymore because I put it on YouTube, so it's kind of burnt. Here, let's go back to the chat. Now, Joshua says something interesting here. My buddy Josh, he said he could never live without an In-N-Out burger or homemade chocolate chip cookies. The good news is you can get homemade chocolate chip cookies anywhere. All you need is a home. In-N-Out burger, that's troublesome because we don't have them on the East Coast. And when we get there, you're very, very aggressive. I love In-N-Out burger. I've only visited Los Angeles a few times, but the burger has always been the peak of the experience, if you know what I'm saying. I have them animal style, but I miss them. I really do. Hardee's has got a pretty good burger down south, but it's nothing like I just love the purity. I love the simplicity of In-N-Out burger. One product. I think that's genius. So I hope you never have to. He loved the comedy skit. Very kind of you to say. Good memories from when I met you on my Carnival cruise. I loved the Carnival bit. It was 2.5 hours of material I had to keep in my head. And now I get to watch it and I forget most of it. And I get to laugh at my own jokes every now and then. That's not a bad way to live, huh? Tell you what, let's do one more spin. And then we're going to close it out because the show's almost over. Christopher says, oh, I need to see you live again soon. Well, I am available. I'm not touring much, but I'll put a date on the books down in Florida if you care enough. All right, let's spin the wheel. Shakespeare, very nice. One last Shakespearean. Let's do the Shakespeare Theater. That's regular. There we go. We already did our sonnet, so I am going to do another reading. Let's see. All right, this is tricky. I'm adjusting some things on my screen, so bear with me for just a moment. And view. All right. Let's see if I can't find something new and exciting to read. I added 7 or 8 new Shakespearean monologues. Yeah, let's do this one. Let's do I Must Eat My Dinner. This is by Caliban. He is he's a spirit who lives on an island. His mother was Sycorax, and he's almost a monster. This is from The Tempest, Act 1, Scene 2. I must eat my dinner. This island's mine, by Sycorax, my mother, which thou takest from me. When thou camest first, thou stroked me and madest much of me. Would gives me water with berries in it, and teach me how to name the bigger light and how the less that burn by day and night. And then I loved thee, and showed thee all the qualities of the isle, the fresh springs, brine pits, barren place and fertile. Cursed be I that did so. All the charms of Sycorax, toads, beetles, bats, light on you, for I am all the subjects that you have, which first was mine own king. And here you stay me in this high rock, whiles you do keep from me the rest of the island. My first time doing that. I think it needs a lot of work. All right, then. Let me close off the full screen. There's a movie version that I'm quite fond of The Tempest. Stars Helen Mirren. If you enjoy Helen Mirren, boy, I know, dude. All right. Ooh, Whataburger is in the Texas area. Excellent. We've got a couple Whataburgers in North Carolina, too. My first experience with Whataburger was in Florida, so I don't really associate it with much pleasure. All right, folks. That was the last Shakespearean monologue. Thanks for hanging in there. Let's go back to the talk show desk. Whataburger is doable only if it's just meat and cheese and $1,000 sauce. True. I want to thank everybody for watching. Appreciate you sticking your head in here. Josh, thanks for coming in. Neil, miss you, buddy. If anybody's watching this later on, thanks for taking the time to tune in. Hope everybody stays strong and stays happy. I'm going to sing my little goodbye song. And remember, the only way to save this country is for all of us to love one another. So love yourself first, and then try to love somebody else. And then, if you can, love everybody. Next week, maybe the week after that, I'm breaking out my ukulele. I learned this song, but it's not quite ready this week, so I'm going a cappella. Thanks for watching. We'll meet again Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep shining through, just like you always do, and the blue sky will brush that dark cloud far away. And would you please say hello to the folks that I know and tell them I won't be long. And they'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next Sunday. Bye.